Hey, welcome back. My name is Steve.
I'm Ian.
We introduced last time that we are going to be talking about some technical skills that will make you a better player and better game master in, well, honestly, any game, especially ours. Well, some of these won't be directly applicable to ours until we actually come out with the book. Because the first one we're going to talk about is a very simple one, which can be titled System Familiarity / System Mastery, or
RTFB.
Read the freaking book. There are a lot of players out there who have said to themselves, every game is D&D, right? Or, I don't need to read the book. The DM will tell me what I need to roll, and the other players can help me out.
Or, and this is a whole other kettle of fish, who take this kind of weird, perverse pride in being bad at math and not liking numbers.
Mm-hmm.
That is not a thing to be proud of.
Very definitely not.
And it is not that hard to do the math that is involved in role-playing.
I'm certain you've also heard the following at the table. I got a 15. Is that good? You should know whether it's good or not. I'm dead serious. If you don't know
and there's a difference between asking whether that's good or whether it's good enough.
Right.
So the core principle here is that there will be material available for the game that you are getting into. If you are trying to learn about our game, currently the material that's available is mostly YouTube videos, although if you support us on the Patreon, you do get access to the Google document where we've developed the rules and what we've written down so far of the setting. Most of the setting you'll actually find in these YouTube videos right now.
That is still in progress, but right now we are not funded enough for us to take the time off of work to finish the novel-length writing that we need to do to get the book ready. But we've digressed.
Plenty of other role-playing games have books. The point is, there's material, and you should go into it. You should familiarize yourself with it.
It is, bluntly, your responsibility as both a player and or a game master to sit down and know how the game works. You don't need to know every single rules interaction on every single level, but you should know how to roll a dice, how to resolve conflicts, how to see whether a score is high enough, what various terms mean. It's okay not to know at the first. It's expected not to know at first. You should not be an expert sitting down for the first time.
Although for the GM, this responsibility doubles down, because
Yes.
at first the GM is probably going to be expected to be the only person who knows these things and to help teach everyone else.
And I'm about to be very offensive to a certain subset of the population of gamers here. I'm very sorry. But guys, buy the book. Seriously. Yes, okay, I have been broke. It sucks. They're expensive. If you must obtain it some other way, obtain it some other way, but get your hands on your own copy. It's very important that if you're seriously playing a game, get your hands on a copy somehow, because it helps like nobody's business for everyone involved to have a copy of the rules and to know how they work.
Whether you get some stranger on the internet to get it for you as a present, or you buy it from a store yourself, you should have a copy of the setting and rules that you're playing with so that you can understand it.
This goes a step further than just rules. There's also a very important thing for players to be aware of, which is basic setting familiarity. If this means doing some basic research on published settings, that's very important. If this means bugging the GM for information about a homebrew setting, honestly, most GMs love to tell you about that, and if the GM doesn't, that's a sign that either you're supposed to learn as you go, in which case, take notes, or something is very wrong, and the GM...
Because again, the GM has a doubled-down responsibility here, especially in a homebrew where it sort of triples down, because the GM has to create the material so that the players can become familiar with it, not only be familiar with it himself.
GMs, when it comes to familiarity, and we're actually going to address this in another video as well, but I'm going to front-load this here. Do remember, your players only know what is communicated to them. The characters will know more. The characters should know all sorts of cultural things about where they come from, but that's your responsibility to tell the players what cultural things their characters know, even as much as it's the player's responsibility to learn what they can about the setting. You need to be aware of these things. It's very important. Seat-of-the-pants GMing can be done, but only with sufficient amounts of preparation.
So, to sum up and reiterate those points, you should familiarize yourself with the material.
Yep.
You should make sure that you're working together with other players in the GM to be familiar as a group with the material,
Mm-hmm.
and you should make sure that you have available to yourself the material to get familiar with.
Mastery will come in time. You do not need to push for overnight mastery, but when you sit down to play a game, it really is your responsibility to quickly learn the basics of how the game works.
There are plenty of ways to optimize this process for yourself, whether it be taking notes or making cheat sheets or reading specific parts first or reading the book cover to cover.
Because frankly, if every time you sat down in a car you had to ask someone, what does that red octagon mean? You'd all be dead pretty fast.
So next time we're going to delve into a player-specific, a GM-specific.
It's GM-specific first, yes.
Set of skills. This was more focused on players, although the GMs had the same responsibility. Next time we're going to focus on a more GM-centric responsibility of preparation. Thanks for sticking with us through these generalized RPG skills discussions, and we'll see you next time.